Assalamualaikum. All of you are welcome to our online class. I hope you are fine at home by the grace of Almighty Allah. Dear students, today I am going to discuss on chapter 12. Our today's topic is the natural resources of Bangladesh. I hope you are ready to do the class attentively. Dear students, in your previous class, you have got an idea about resources. You know that there are two types of resources. Some are man-made resources and some are natural resources. In this class, I will discuss on natural resources of Bangladesh. Dear students, the social and economic condition of any country can be improved by proper utilization of natural resources. That is why you will have to learn about that. Now, I am going to discuss on natural resources of Bangladesh. At first, we will have to know what is called natural resource. Now, have a look on the board. All objects from nature are called natural resources. I am telling you again, all objects from nature are called natural resources. There are different types of resources in our country, such as soil, rivers, mine resources, fish resources, forest, animal resources, sea and marine resources, etc. Now, I am going to discuss elaborately on these resources. Soil. Soil is the most valuable resource in our country. Dear students, our country is full of fertile land. In our country, 1/10 of the land is mountainous. Try to keep in your mind, 1/10 of the land is mountainous, and rest of the land are plain land. And most of all plain lands are very much fertile to produce anything. And 3 crops, try to keep in your mind, 3 crops are grown in our land yearly. So, we are very much lucky to live here. Dear students, now I am going to discuss on rivers. There are a lot of rivers in our country. Some of our big rivers and some of our small rivers. You know that the Padma, Meghna, Jamuna are the big rivers in our country. And there are a lot of small rivers also. And rivers are easy means of cargo transport and communication. And our rivers are also abundant of fishes. So rivers are also very much valuable natural resources in our country. Mine resource. Dear students, there are a lot of mine resources are under the earth of Bangladesh. That are coal, gas, limestone, china clay, silica, etc. If we can use these resources in proper way, our country will be developed within a very short time. Now I am going to discuss on forest resources. The total forest area of Bangladesh is 24,938 square kilometers. Try to keep in your mind, the total land area of the forest of Bangladesh is 24,938 square kilometers, which is 17.49% of total lands. Dear students, in any country, 25% forest lands is needed. But unfortunately, in our country, it is only 17.49%. There is valuable They are used to make our home and furniture. Besides, there are bird and animal resources in forest. So, forests are invaluable in maintaining ecological balance. So, you will have to plant more and more to keep our environment healthy. Now, I am going to discuss on some other natural resources of Bangladesh. That are fish resources, animal resources, sea or marine resources. Dear students, there are many rivers and canals in Bangladesh along with the Bay of Bengal on the south. There are a huge number of sweetwater fishes in these lowlands, rivers and canals. Besides, sea fishes are also catering to our food demand. Many people live by fishing. So, fish resources are very much important natural resources of Bangladesh. Animal resources. Dear students, among our animal resources, there are cows, buffaloes, goats, rams, fowls, etc. They are domestic animals. Besides, there are many kinds of birds in the country. Now I am going to discuss on sea and marine resources. Dear students, there lies the Bay of Bengal covering the southern region of Bangladesh. The three seaports, Chattogram, Mongla and Paira, have developed along the sea coast. I am telling you again, there are three seaports. Now write in your copy. That's are number 1, Chattogram seaport. Number 2, Mongla seaport, and number 3, Paira seaports. There are 3 seaports in our country. Try to keep in your mind. Students, we produce salt from seawater also. Besides, we have a huge quantity of fishes from the sea. These are our important natural resources. I hope all of you have understood about our natural resources. Now, I am going to discuss on the role of natural resources in socio-economic development. Dear students, all the resources been used since ancient to middle age were natural resources. Man has transformed natural resources for their own use. In the modern age, man has learned to dig our minerals such as coal, iron, stone, gold, silver, gas, etc. They are utilizing natural resources with greater skills and inventing many modern devices. In this way, man has been improving first their socio-economic condition. Now, I am telling about the role of natural resources in development of Bangladesh. Dear students, natural resources of Bangladesh are limited. On the other hand, the population is very big compared to the resources. So, we have to use natural resources by proper planning. What are the plans? Dear students, have a look on the board. That's our production and creating employment. Meeting demands of balanced diet, providing irrigation facilities, industrial development and trade expansion, and forest resources. Now, I am discussing about this elaborately. Number 1, production and creating employment. You know that ours is an agrarian country. The soil of our country is very fertile. Agricultural production will be much higher by proper utilization of this fertile soil. Industrialization too should be in a planned way. If we use advanced technology in agriculture, production will rise and new employments will be created in villages. As a result, rural people will not rush to towns for employment. Next point, meeting demands of balanced diet. The utilization of three kinds of animal resources, namely cattle, fowl and fish, have increased in the country. As a result, the demand of balanced diet is being met. On the other hand, lakhs of farms are growing to provide employment for many. Now come on to the next point, providing irrigation facilities. Dear students, we can irrigate our agricultural land with water of our rivers, canals, lowlands, houses. As a result, agricultural production can be raised in dry season too. Come on to the next point, industrial development and trade expansion. The gas, coal and limestone of the country are also utilized. These natural resources are being used and industry is expanding. Number 5, forest resources. Dear students, we use forest resources in building houses and making furniture. Again, forest resources play an important role in reducing temperature for this region. We have to further increase our forest resources in planned way. By proper utilization of country's natural resources, the agriculture and industry will develop and employment opportunities will be generated. I hope all of you have understood about the role of natural resources in socio-economic development in Bangladesh. Now, I am going to discuss on biodiversity. What do you mean by biodiversity? It is very much important question for JSC examination. Dear students, you know that for getting 2 out of 2 in B number question of structured question, you will have to write in 2 paras. In the board, I have written to show you that how will you write in your exam paper for B number question. I am telling the question again. What do you mean by biodiversity? Have a look on the board. The way in which diverse living beings live in nature is plainly called biodiversity. And in the next para, you will have to write the animal world along with man, animals and insects live maintaining in a balance in nature, which is the key role of biodiversity to keep environment healthy. I hope you have understood about the biodiversity. Dear students, you will have to learn about the biodiversity of Bangladesh also. Dear students, different flora and fauna live or die due to various changes in climate and temperature. Due to the change in temperature and climate, many of the living beings which used to exist millions of years ago in the Earth's climate are now extinct. The existence, reproduction and evolution of living beings are going on in nature in a balanced way. Living beings are symbiotically dependent. Animals live by inhaling oxygen exhaled by green plants in air. On the other hand, Plants get necessary nitrogen from animals. Different animals in the forest live by hunting one another. The reproduction of living beings occurs in a similar way. Dear students, the flora and fauna in the Sundarbans are damaged in cyclones, and again it becomes filled with the same as per the law of nature. Now I am going to discuss on the condition of biodiversity in Bangladesh. Dear students, the basic elements of biodiversity are fish, forest, animal and birds, different insects, aquatic animals, etc. On basis of this, I am going to discuss on the condition of biodiversity of Bangladesh. Once upon a time, Bangladesh was abounded with forest, animals and birds. Low marshes abounded with aquatic animals. Aquatic animals, that means the animals, those who are living in water, are called aquatic animals. Dear students, houses, roads and towns are now being built filling water bodies due to increase of country's population, which is leaving a bad impact on biodiversity. The normal flow of water is hampered due to the building of houses and roads. As a result, reproduction of aquatic animals and fishes is hampered. The cultivable land has diminished due to the building of houses, roads and towns. The fertility of land is damaged by chemical wastes due to unplanned industrialization. The use of chemical fertilizer and pesticides has been a must to enhance food production to feed our increased population. As a consequence, reproduction of fishes, insects and birds is hampered. For that reasons, biodiversity is also affected. Dear students, there has been a pressure on plant, animal and fish resources due to the increase of country's population. Gas and water supply in urban areas has got reduced. Temperature in rural area has increased due to the decrease of vegetation. It will be devastating for us to let biodiversity be affected. We have to be conscious and active immediately to face this danger. So dear students, for keeping our environment healthy, there are some rules in protecting biodiversity. Number 1, population should be reduced. 2, cultivable land should not be spoiled. 3, policy to protect biodiversity in agro production should be adopted. 4, fertilizer and pesticide should not be used unnecessarily. 5, normal flow of water should not be blocked. 6, water reservoir should be built and water should be reserved. 7, rules should be obeyed in using chemicals. 8, forest resources should be increased and more forests should be created in the country. 9, animal and fish resources should be protected and increased. 10, the highest vigilance should be adopted in individual and government levels to protect biodiversity. And the last one is, it should be remembered that biodiversity in Bangladesh is under absolute threat. So, all of you have to be conscious about our biodiversity. I hope all of you have understood about biodiversity and you have understood how how to protect our environment also. Dear students, that's all for the class. See you in the next class. Thank you. Allah Hafiz.